This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Patricia W. Fischer. This is my very first show for Readers Entertainment Radio, and I have such a wonderful guest tonight. I don't know how many of you have seen Unleashing Mr. Darcy or are fans of Pride and Prejudice, but 2 years ago, the Hallmark Channel released the show based on the book, and I have the great fortune of having the author on, as well as her being a very good friend of mine, Teri Wilson. And let me tell you a little bit about Teri before we go on. She is a romance novelist for Harlequin, Pocket Books, and Tule Publishing. Her novel, Unleashing Mr. Darcy, is a Hallmark original movie. She currently has 3 other films in development with Hallmark, including The Art of Us, which is set to premiere this Saturday at 8 o'clock. Teri is also a contributing writer at Hello Giggles, Teen Vogue. She loves coloring books, pop culture, and everything royal. She's crazy about cute animals, vintage fashion, and traveling. And if you want to know more about her, you can go to teriwilson.net or see her on Twitter at Teri Wilson, AUTHR. So we have Teri Wilson. Hello, Teri.
Hi, Patricia. Thank you for having me.
So you're having a very amazing week this week.
Yes, I'm having a super crazy week. I was just telling one of my friends earlier, I have so much going on this week that if Prince Harry got engaged, I probably wouldn't even notice. And so that is like the bar of showing how overwhelmed I am right now.
That is very true. That's very true. Because you are an avid Royals follower for sure.
Yes.
So so we'll get to The Art of Us in just a minute, but you also have another 3 books coming out from Pocket. 1 or 2 are already out, correct? The Royally Roma.
The first one's out. Royally Roma is already out. And the second one comes out in July, Royally Romanoff, which is a retelling of Anastasia. And the third one comes out in November, Royally Wed.
Okay. And then you also have a Drake Diamond series out with the 3 books for that. Okay. And
yes,
so,
and the first 2 are already, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, dear. Go ahead.
The first 2 are already out, and the third one of those comes out in July. So the Drake Diamonds 1 is his Ballerina Bride. It came out in January. Book 2 is The Princess Problem. It came out last month. And the third one is called It Started with a Diamond, and it comes out in July.
So I like that you have all these really fun, different stories. But, I mean, it's all the really core contemporary romance. I mean, love wins out. The journey's hard. Things get crazy, but I mean, why romance? Why would you want to write romance, or why do you?
Well, I write romance. Well, first of all, I love the genre so much. I like to say I write romantic comedy. I love rom-coms in all their forms, books and movies. I like them because to me, it's writing them is a way to spread joy and happiness, and to celebrate the core message of romance, which is love's redemptive qualities. So, I mean, I love that.
Right.
That being said, I kind of stumbled into romance writing through from a weird direction, because the first book I ever wrote was nonfiction. It was about it was a Bible study for animal lovers. I'm a huge animal lover, and so after that, I started exploring fiction, and I was writing short stories about animals. I thought if I ever wrote a book, it would be like an animal story, like Black Beauty or something. The American Kennel Club short fiction contest with a short story that I had, and I won 3rd place. And so the editor of the AKC magazine called to tell me, that I had won 3rd place. And when we were talking on the phone, she said, congratulations. She said, you're 3rd place. She told me multiple times how much she hated the title I had given my story, which I'm not going to repeat on air because now I have a complex about it. But then she said, I really wanted to call and talk to you personally to tell you that you won 3rd place, mainly because I want to know if you realize that you're not writing animal stories, you're writing romance. And it's like, I hadn't even noticed. She was like, the dogs are falling in love. The people are falling in love. There's like love, love, love. She said, you are a romance writer. And I mean, it totally clicked when she told me that. I don't know why I hadn't realized it, but that was kind of like a defining moment for me. And I started writing my first romance novel the very next day. And the first one was horrible and will never see the light of day. But all the other ones have been published.
It's hiding under your, I mean, it's literally hiding in a box under your bed. It's gone nowhere. Yes, no, never, ever. I need to destroy all the digital files so no one will like see fit to try and publish it after I'm dead or something, because it's awful. But that's how I found my way to the romance, industry. And like I said, she was so perceptive. I don't know why it took a third party to tell me, but now I love it. Well, do you think part of it is I think initially a lot of writers, we all think we're going to write this great American novel and it's going to be taught in colleges and everything else, and then we realize someone has to point it out to us what we're actually writing. I think it's that kind of thing.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I never thought, I'm going to write, some great American novel that'll live forever, like The Great Gatsby. I mean, that wasn't anything that ever crossed my mind. I just knew that, I like to write about pets because, like I said, I'm an animal lover. And so I think that that's just kind of why I thought that I was writing, more like animal stories. But because I'm just naturally a romantic at heart, I was really writing, about romance with some cute animal characters thrown in on the side.
and the animals do make another layer of the story, which is a lot of fun.
Oh, for sure. I have animals in all of my stories, and I try to make sure that they all have an actual reason for being there, not just for arm candy, decoration, cute little puppies. I mean, I try and make sure that they're involved somehow in the plot in a meaningful way.
So, and speaking of that, so you have a dog named Van Gogh, correct, in The Art of Us?
I was going to say, not in real life. I'm looking around.
No.
I forgot about that. Yes, The Art of Us. The Art of Us. I'll go ahead and say what it's about, so it makes sense.
Yeah,
why
please.
We have this dog in here. The Art of Us is a modern-day My Fair Lady story, and it's about an art professor named Harper Higgins, and she is trying to get tenure at the college where she teaches art history. She's a Vincent Van Gogh scholar, and she's curating a big art show at the college, and she's hoping that if the art show goes well, she'll get the promotion. She's up for the promotion for tenured professor against one other professor. They're both competing for the same spot. And her artist withdraws. He totally bails and pulls out of the show. And so then she's left kind of hanging like, oh gosh, if the show is a disaster, if I can't find a replacement, I'm not going to get tenure. And so she kind of concocts a scheme with her super handsome, hunky dog walker to try and make him out to be a famous artist who's related to Vincent Van Gogh. And he can paint. She gets this idea when she finds out that he's actually an accomplished painter. But so they make this little arrangement where he's going to pretend he's related to Van Gogh and he's be the artist in her show. And so that's in hilarity and love ensues. But
of course.
She has a dog. Yes, she has a dog named Vincent. He's named after Vincent Van Gogh. And in the book, he only has one ear because obviously he's a rescue dog and he has one ear. That's why she named him after Vincent Van Gogh. But in the movie, the movie, the dog is played by a girl dog named Gidget. She plays Vincent, but we let her keep both of her ears for the role. So.
Well, that's good. I would hate to think
that. Off the dog's ear. So, but there
suffer for character. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that comes out.
Yeah, there's a really cute dog.
Mm-hmm. That comes out this Saturday, and I'm sure that you're just on pins and needles waiting for this because you got to go up and see them film it.
Yes, I did. The movie airs this Saturday night on the Hallmark Channel, May 20th, this Saturday at 8 Central, 9 Eastern. And yes, I did. I went to Canada for the filming of the movie. I wasn't there for the whole time. It takes 3 weeks to film a television movie. I was there for the last 3 days. But, so I was on set, and it was super exciting, and I just can't wait. I mean, I'm really, really excited to see the movie. I haven't even seen it yet. And I've done a lot of interviews this week trying to, prepare because obviously I like to do promo when I have a project come out because, I'm so excited about the movie. I want people to watch it, and they have to hear that it exists before they can watch it. So I've been doing a lot of blog interviews and that kind of thing this week. And I was just chatting with one of the bloggers who interviewed me, and the interview just went live like an hour ago. And she said, here's the link to the interview. So excited. I just got the screener in my email, and being the naive person that I am, I was like, I don't even know what a screener is. I kind of thought I might know, but I wasn't sure. She said, oh yeah, it's the movie. So she's already got the movie. So like people are seeing the movie before I get to see it, which is kind of crazy. I know.
Well, and having it on, it's now anybody who goes and looks for it on YouTube, it's not there. And anybody I looked at that this morning, and it was not your movie, which was a little scary because I saw it and I'm like, wait a minute, why is it on YouTube? But it's not. It's mislabeled.
Yeah, I know. For some reason, people are putting like pirated stuff up on YouTube, and they're calling it The Art of Us, and that's find out when they start watching it. And this isn't even the official version. I think that bloggers and people in the media get like some sort of special version in advance so people can do reviews and stuff,
Sure.
Yeah, so now I'm all nervous knowing that it's out there, and people are seeing it, but I can't wait to see it on Saturday, and it's going to be great.
So you also did Unleashing Mr. Darcy, and that was, it also filmed in Vancouver and same area.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So there you had a cameo in that. So where can we look for you in the cameo for The Art of Us?
In The Art of Us. Okay. So like I told you, she's curating a big art show, and the big art show is kind of near, toward the end of the movie. And I'm in that scene. I'm one of the patrons at the art show. I'm walking around looking at the paintings. And fun fact, I'm walking around looking at the paintings with a woman who's wearing like a black pantsuit. And her name is Lori, and she is the artist who painted all of Tom's paintings for the movie in real life. I mean, she's actually the one who painted the paintings. So when we're looking at the paintings, we're like we're looking at her paintings, but in the movie they're Tom's paintings. So,
and you got to meet the cast.
I did. I met all of the cast. They're great. We have a wonderful cast. We have Taylor Cole in the lead as Harper Higgins. She plays the heroine. She's originally from Texas, which is where I'm from, so love that about her. She lives in Miami now, but she's originally from the Arlington area. And she is just fabulous. She's been in 3 other Hallmark movies. This is her 4th. She's a big fan favorite. She's totally gorgeous, but so likable. Like everyone on set was in love with her completely. I mean, we're all just like enamored with her. She's the best. And the hero is played by Steve Lund. He's also been in 1 or 2 Hallmark movies. I hate to say I haven't seen any of the movies he's been in, but he is great. He's just really fun. I think he's perfect for hunky Tom in the movie. I almost said Tom Stone, but I forgot in the movie they changed his last name. I think his last name is Becker in the movie. Anyway, his name's Tom. But he's great because he's really cute. But, the character is also a former, military vet, dealing with some of the issues about, having served and stuff. So Steve is really good at playing soulful characters. So he's great in the role of Tom. So they're both fabulous.
And that's cool because you're from San Antonio, and San Antonio is also called Military USA because we have 3 military bases here. And the majority of the medical staffing for all branches of the military are trained here. So, pulling that the PTSD aspect of it and giving another outlet for someone out there who may be dealing with something pretty major was a really beautiful tie-in. I think people sometimes think that romance books don't always tackle heavy topics, and I think it's a beautiful way to tackle a heavy topic is to put the happily ever after, but the journey is always the best part of it, and seeing where people go and where they come from. So thank you for putting that in there.
Oh, thanks. Well, I was inspired to make him I was inspired to do Tom's character because at the time I had read an article online. I don't remember even where I saw it for the first time, but I'd read about something called the Combat Paper Project, and it is a nonprofit that helps vets deal with PTS issues through art therapy. And this is so cool. What they do is they take their actual uniforms that they wore in combat and cut them up and make them into paper pulp. And then they make these really cool pieces of art out of the paper that they've made from their military uniforms. It's so cool.
Huh.
I hope everyone looks
and
it
then
up.
where did you find that? Was that in
I don't remember where I saw it for the first time, but they do have a website.
Okay.
I don't know what it is offhand, but the organization is called Combat Paper Project. And if anyone's read The Art of Us or has a copy of the book, I do mention the Combat Paper Project at the very beginning in the acknowledgments.
Okay.
But that's kind of what inspired me to write Tom's character, because like I mentioned, he's an accomplished painter, but the backstory of his character is that he learned how to paint when he was in the military hospital recovering from an injury he received during combat. So that's where he first learned how to paint. And that's kind of, the painting is kind of what's helping him deal with, what he's been through. But like you were saying, yes, romance novels always have happy endings and a positive message and everything. But most of at the beginning of pretty much all romance novels, you're dealing with two characters who are broken in some aspect and are struggling.
Right.
Because if you write a book with two perfect people who meet and fall in love and they have no obstacles to overcome, at the core, that's kind of a boring story. I mean,
it is.
The payoff.
You're right.
The payoff comes when you have two characters that have stuff to work through, and it makes the end sweeter when they have to work for it.
It is. Now, I noticed that you have Unleashing Mr. Darcy, you have a retelling of Anastasia, you have Unmasking Juliet is another one of your books. You also have now The Art of Us, which is based on My Fair Lady, Pygmalion. I get a sense that you like the classics, the classic stories.
I do.
That
I love
we've all
the
grown
classics.
up with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the classics are classics for a reason, and I think it's because they have themes that are universal, that have stood the test of time, that people are still dealing with now, the same struggles and things they were dealing with 200 years ago. So I think that's why the classics become so popular and enduring, is because they deal with themes that people can relate to. And so I love honoring those themes in those books by doing retellings. I'm not saying that, my books are competing with them or anything. I just I just think that any retelling of a classic helps that legacy endure, and I love being a part of that because I'm a huge lover of literature and classic movies, and so I'm very inspired by all of that.
So if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Teri Wilson and we're talking about The Art of Us as well as her other books. And The Art of Us is going to be on Hallmark this Saturday, and you are having a small get-together for this, my understanding.
A small get-together for 134 of my closest friends. So I was just going over the guest list earlier today because I invited a lot of people, obviously, but I thought, there's no way I'm going to fill the theater. And once again, the theater is almost completely full. And I'm like, how do I even know 130 people? I don't understand how this happens. But apparently
everybody comes out to cheer you on.
No, it's great. It's wonderful. I mean, I'm calling it a watch party, so that everyone I know can get together and watch the movie. But really, everyone who comes is my prisoner because I'm going to force them to tweet about the movie while we're watching it.
So when we go back to that, we're talking about tweeting. When Mr. Darcy, Unleashing Mr. Darcy came out with Ryan Pavey, 2 years ago?
It was January 2016.
4 million. Right, so a year and a half. So 4 million tweets that night for that one show.
Something crazy like that. That's what the director told me. It was some huge amount of tweets, and I like to say that I was only responsible for tweeting like 1 million of those tweets. I don't know who did the other 3 million. Well, I mean, I think maybe you did 500,000, but I mean, I don't know where all those tweets came from. But but we want the movie to be trending. If the movie trends, then more people hear about it. And like I said, I mean, I'm really excited about it. So obviously, I want everyone to watch it. So
of course.
And now that Unleashing Mr. Darcy did so great, I mean, we trended for like 12 hours straight. It started trending 20 minutes into the movie, and trended all night and until the next day. It was like 12 straight hours. So now,
and
I feel
even
like
the cast got in on it.
to make. Oh yeah, the cast was live tweeting, and So obviously I want the Artivist to do at least that well, because I'm super proud of the Artivist and I want everyone to watch it. I think that I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that Taylor Cole is going to be live tweeting the movie. I know Hallmark Channel is, and I am, and a lot of the bloggers, and there's a community of Hallmark fans on Twitter who call themselves the Hallmarkies. Hashtag Hallmarkies. I know the Hallmarkies are all going to be live tweeting, so it's going to be like a big virtual party. And I actually have a really cool treat that I'm going to post on my social media tomorrow. It's I guess I'll go ahead and say, I haven't announced it. I'll announce it right here. It's a color your own Van Gogh. Yeah. It's a color your own Van Gogh masterpiece. It's a coloring sheet we've made of Van Gogh's sunflowers. So I'm going to post that sometime tomorrow, and it's a little coloring sheet, and it says hashtag the Artivist, and we're hoping that a lot of people who watch the movie will color their own little Van Gogh masterpiece and post it, during the movie. So it'll be fun.
Sure.
See everyone's art. Yeah.
So what is coming up for you? You've got, the Drake Diamond series. You've got the Royally series. What else is coming up in, say, 2018?
Okay. I'm glad you qualified, because when you said what else is coming up, I told you I'm so overwhelmed right now with hopefully pizza and some wine in about an hour. But so 2018. Okay, so my Drake Diamond series is for Harlequin Special Edition, and in 2018 I will have a new series for them called Wild Hearts. And there's an E on the end of the word wild because that's actually the family's last name. So I'll have 4 books in that series coming out in 2018. And like Drake Diamond's, the Wild Hearts series is set in Manhattan, super glamorous, and the Wild family, the matriarch of the Wild family, owns a ballet school, a dance school in New York. And so it's kind of about how her kids are dealing with inheriting the dance school and who's going to be in charge of it. But that's just kind of in the background. Each story is a love story of one of the siblings. And the first one, and none of these books have titles yet, so I can't say what they're called. The first book is about a ballerina who has lost her hearing. She's hearing impaired as a result of a really bad fall she took in a ballet rehearsal. And as the book opens, she's still trying to be a ballerina even though she's, has this hearing difficulty. But at a really crucial moment in her career, her hearing actually starts to come back. And it presents a big special set of challenges for her. And the hero is the rehearsal pianist for the ballet company. So it's really cool. It has a lot of, musical imagery, and I'm really excited about it. And then I'll tell you about the second book in that series, too. The second book has to deal with her brother, who her brother doesn't have anything to do with the dance school because he's busy being a billionaire who owns a super, nice Manhattan hotel, runs it kind of like the Plaza or whatever. But when he was a teenager, back when he was a kid, his best friend was a girl, and they were just really close. And when they were like 11 or 12, they made one of those deals that people make that, if we're not married by the time we're 30, we'll marry each other. But then something happened and they went their separate ways, and he hasn't seen her in decades. So he's at his hotel, and he's having his 30th birthday party at his hotel. And right as he's about to blow out the candles on his cake, kaboom, in walks that woman in her wedding dress. And he thinks that she's come back to make good on their deal because now he's turning 30. But actually she was in the next room getting married in the ballroom and has run out on her own wedding and accidentally stumbled upon his birthday party. So then they have this, obviously misunderstanding. He's like, "What are you doing here? I'm not going to marry you. You're crazy. You're wearing your wedding dress." And she's like, "I don't even know who you are, dude." So it's going to be a really funny opening. I'm really excited about that book.
Well, that sounds visually fun, for sure.
Yeah.
So
it'll be fun.
I have to ask you, what is the one thing you have to have close by or near when you are writing?
What that I have to have close by or near when I'm writing? Well, usually coffee.
Yeah.
Usually coffee. I'm going to go with coffee. Yeah.
Coffee. That's good. Okay. And then what do you like to do when you are not working on a book?
Well, I've been going to Zumba a lot lately. I like going to the gym. I love watching movies. I love reading. I like to knit. I like to do a lot of things. I have 2 dogs, Bliss and Finn, who I adore, so I love pampering them and, hanging out with them. I have a lot of friends. I like to, go out and have fun. I like artsy things, obviously, because I have the Art of Us. So,
right.
So yeah, just, things like that.
So there are rumors. Now, I can't verify anything, nor can you, but there are rumors that there might be a Unleashing Mr. Darcy sequel.
There are indeed rumors. People have been, people ask me about it all the time. They started asking me about it right after Unleashing Mr. Darcy aired. People started wanting a sequel, and I love it. I love it when people bring it up because it means that the movie's truly a fan favorite, that people are still asking for a sequel a year and a half later. But I can't really comment on it. But I mean, even Mr. Darcy himself tweeted something contributing to the rumors a couple months ago, and it kind of went into overdrive at that point. I was like, "Look at you, Mr. Darcy, Ryan Pavey starting rumors." I mean, all I can say is that obviously Ryan, since he tweeted it, obviously all of us would love to have a sequel. So we'll see what happens.
Sure. Now, when you met Ryan, you also got to go, like I mentioned before, you got to go see them film Unleashing Mr. Darcy. When you met Ryan, and had he ever read Pride and Prejudice? Do you know? Did he say?
I don't want to out Ryan as not reading Pride and Prejudice. I'm going to go with I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But he was very aware of who Mr. Darcy is and Mr. Darcy's legacy because this is kind of a fun fact. Ryan is on General Hospital. He plays Detective Nathan West, and his nickname on the set of General Hospital is Mr. Darcy, and it was that before he even got the role in Unleashing Mr. Darcy. That's what the women on set call him. Yeah, that's what the women on set call him. That is hysterical. So, Darcy-ish.
Dashing.
So
yes, he's very dashing.
Yeah, very dashing.
That's very funny.
Oh my gosh, I can't even have a conversation with him in real life. I mean, he says something to me, and I just giggle like I'm a schoolgirl. It's humiliating. I mean, even when I was on set and we were watching him, I'd be sitting at the monitor in between the director and the producer, and I would just see my reflection in the monitor and see the ridiculous giddy smile I had on my face whenever he opened his mouth and said something, and I was like, oh, I really got to check myself and act professional. This is insane. But he's just, Ryan has that effect.
But he's extremely grounded and very lovely, which is nice. It just kind of fits into the character.
Humble.
Yeah.
He is such a hard worker. Being on a soap opera, I think that actors and actresses on soap operas are some of the hardest working people in show business, because they work really long hours. And, Ryan, even though he was the star of that movie, I want to say from what I witnessed when I was there, he was the first person on set every day, last person to leave. He was there working really, really hard. And in between takes, he would joke around with the extras, it was great. Everyone loved him, and with good reason, because he's awesome. Yeah.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you've had quite a ride in the past year and a half or so. And you have a potential, there's another project coming up around Christmas time?
Yes.
You have another project?
Yes, I have a Christmas project in development with Hallmark. I don't know 100% if it will air this Christmas. We haven't gone into production yet, so I don't know exactly what the timeline is, but it is in development and the script is being worked on. It's based on a book that I wrote called Sleigh Bell Sweethearts, and it's about a woman who unexpectedly inherits a reindeer farm in Alaska shortly before Christmas. And, of course, like most of us, she has no clue what to do with, 30 reindeer.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to do with 30 reindeer, sure. I don't even know what to do with the 5 deer that show up in my yard, all the time. So 30 reindeer, that's a lot. That's a
30
lot.
reindeer. And the whole joke in the book is that she's got 30 reindeer, sometimes 31, and that's because one of them keeps escaping and wreaking havoc all over town and causing all sorts of trouble. And that reindeer's name is Palmer. And the funny thing is, my readers totally latched onto Palmer. Everyone loves him. And so I put him in several books because I've written several other books based in that same town, in that same Alaskan town, that same series.
Right.
And I don't dare write a book in Alaska now and not put Palmer in it because everyone would be like, where's Palmer? They want to know where he is, and they want him to be doing something really naughty, which he always does because he's a naughty reindeer.
Well, thank you so much for being on, and we so appreciate you coming and talking about all your amazing projects, and we're all going to be watching on Saturday and seeing The Art of Us. And everybody tweet like crazy, hashtag The Art of Us. So thank you so much, Teri, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.